My name is Thomas Haas. This video accompanies a research paper completed for my Communications 520 class at Liberty University. Walk into malls, stop to put gas in your automobile, shop for groceries, or stand in line at concession stands and sports arenas, and the amount of information that is communicated through video or audio is beyond comprehension. However, since the broadcasts originate from organizations that are beyond our control, the agendas of those that originate the broadcasts reach us at the same time. Broadcasters have a tremendous influence on moving people to an agenda that generally benefits the broadcaster or supports those with which the broadcaster is aligned. This is a built-in media bias. George Gerbner, a renowned scholar of media communication theory, defined the characteristics of mass media as being the ability to define issues, provide common terms of reference, and thus to allocate attention and power. Whether it involves influencing our buying habits, political views, or the sports teams we support, mass media has an overt or sometimes subtle agenda that accompanies it. Again, a built-in bias. Now, there are three mass media functions. Surveillance is the function of gathering information about the environment and communicating it to others. Correlation is the function of providing information to assist in problem solving. And transmission is the function of connecting people for the purposes of socializing. Think of Facebook or Twitter. Or to educate people by transmitting unbiased information to them, at least supposedly unbiased information. Now, media theorists recognize two faces of mass communication. That's a micro side and a macro side. The macro issues address communications between the media and society at large, and the recent media coverage of Hurricane Sandy that hit the northeastern states would be an example of macro communication. The micro issues address communications between the media and groups or individuals. A broadcast email to a local homeowners group from an environmental organization, or an attorney advertising to locate people who may join in a class action suit are examples of micro faces of communication. Now, mass communication is made up of various organizations that reflect a number of communication theories or hypotheses. One of these is Irving Janis's groupthink hypothesis. This hypothesis addresses how certain conditions within a group can lead to a high group satisfaction but ineffective output or poor decisions. This is a reflective of the cohesiveness within the group. Now, cohesiveness is defined as the degree of mutual interest among members. It's the characteristics or issues for which the group members share the same interests and hold the same or very similar opinions. If group members believe their goals can be met within the group, then there is a high level of cohesiveness, sticking together to get the job done. But remember, groupthink produces flawed results. Janis also developed a manner in which he could predict the likelihood of groupthink results by identifying 8 symptoms, and he proved the symptoms of groupthink existed in the debacles of Vietnam, Bay of Pigs, Korea, and Pearl Harbor. They all demonstrated the symptoms of groupthink, and that is, they all had disastrous results. Now, Janis also studied the Marshall Plan, that was the European reconstruction after World War II, and Kennedy's response to the Cuban Missile Crisis. These were tremendously successful undertakings in which Janis found that the groupthink symptoms were absent or were not allowed to play a significant role in these decisions. Now, this brings us to the groupthink mass communication theory, that is the groupthink hypothesis as part of the group theories, combined with the mass communication theory. The groupthink mass communication theory is this. Media bias exists in mass communication, and it is a result of groupthink that can be predicted and demonstrated by the existence of the groupthink symptoms. What do scholars already know about this theory? Well, Janus and others have used the groupthink hypothesis to retrospectively study group decisions, but there's no scholarly studies found that are using the groupthink hypothesis to predict groupthink outcomes before groups render decisions. Because of the newness of the groupthink mass communication theory, scholars do not know anything about it as a unified theory. And are there any gaps in the knowledge of the theory? Well, there are thousands of scholarly studies on groups, groupthink, and mass communication, but none of the groupthink mass communication theory has been studied. So there are studies regarding groupthink that lend credence to the pursuit of studying the groupthink mass communication theory. Is there a scholarly consensus regarding the theory? No, but there are those that doubt groupthink theory as well. However, even those that doubt the groupthink theory have said it has a ring of truth to it. Likewise, the groupthink mass communication theory has a ring of truth to it. It sounds like it should be true. Now, are there any areas of significant debate? No, since the theory has not been studied, there are no areas of significant debate. But news articles supporting that such a theory should be studied do exist, and that would probably lead to much debate. What methods or problems were identified by scholars, and how do they affect the research? Well, there's none, because the groupthink mass communication theory has not been studied. But studying them is certain to draw out challenges to study methods or problems with the theory. Media influences people through surveillance, correlation, and transmission within mass communication. It gathers information about the environment and communicates it to society. However, based upon the information gathered through this research for this paper, it is demonstrated that information transmitted through mass communication is often biased. The ability to predict groupthink based upon 8 identified symptoms provides the basis for scholarly study to test the direct correlation between media bias and groupthink. Groupthink has historically been studied in historical context relative to group decisions. The groupthink mass media theory can be used to predict when biases in media communication may occur and to identify secular humanist views that are mass communicated due to groupthink. Christians have a responsibility regarding mass communication. Jesus said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." He was talking about the freedom we will experience as we place our trust in Him, understanding that He is the way, the truth, and the life. Likewise, born-again believers are not to relinquish the platform of mass communication to those that, due to secular humanist biases, disseminate false information to society, groups, and individuals. Scholarly study must be made of the theory that media bias exists in mass communication, and it is a result of groupthink that can be predicted and demonstrated by the groupthink symptoms. Thanks for watching.